Well, residents of a Campbell River neighborhood are outraged tonight after a tree with an eagle's nest in it was cut down. It happened yesterday just as the two eagles were rebuilding their nest. Dean Stoltz spoke with the irate neighbors.
It's not right. It's awful.
That's the reaction of some people who live in this Galerno Road neighborhood of Campbell River after this huge Douglas fir tree was cut down on Monday.
We heard the power saw. And by the time we saw what was happening, it was too late. The big cut was made in the tree.
They're upset because when the tree came crashing down, with it came an eagle's nest. A nest they say had been in this tree for decades.
We've been here for years, and they've entertained us and our children and grandchildren at certain times of the year. All they want to do is survive. And the fact that somebody can come and do something like this is terrible. It's wrong.
I'm quite emotional about it because, as I say, we've watched the eagles grow up every year. The baby eagles would drag our hoses around the yard.
Not happy with it at all. We don't know what the eagles are going to do or where they're going to nest.
In fact, two eagles were circling overhead during our interview, perhaps looking for their nest. Now, the tree itself is actually in the very back corner of a property that fronts onto the Island Highway. And when we contacted the owner, Gordon Knight, he said he had been advised not to comment. Now, what will likely be at the center of this dispute is whether the tree had a wildlife tag on it like this one we found on a nearby tree. It would have protected it because of the eagles high in its branches. The city of Campbell River says there is no record of Mr. Knight contacting the city for information about the tree, adding it and the Ministry of Environment are now investigating the matter.
It is important, and we certainly don't want to see any wildlife habitat that is prematurely or inappropriately removed.
The faller who was hired to cut the tree down was apparently upset afterwards, saying he didn't know there was a nest in the tree. Meanwhile, those here say an example has to be made of this situation.
Well, they can't put the tree back up or rebuild the nest. The authorities are going to have to deal with it in one way or another.